Hello, it's Denise. Running away from home, only Arethusa, and back in the 1990s I was nappy. I've been on the internet for a very long time. I've been on the internet since Dan Quayle invented it. Never mind. I was not on it when it was just bulletin boards. I don't know how to explain that. And it's not important, is it? I'm very cheerful today because Bruce got his truck back. He will have it back actually tomorrow. Jason got a loan from the bank uh, for a vehicle that worries me. Jason, I feel like getting a 2015 model vehicle, small car, is a gamble for such a low price. I just feel that, and I hope I'm wrong. I am asking for the most benevolent outcome for Jason and his car. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. That thing about benevolent outcome, and I should probably watch more about it. I've only seen enough information about it to understand the concept of it. You want the most benevolent, the best thing that can work out for someone or something. And nobody had to tell me this. It's just common sense. Don't ask for the most benevolent outcome for yourself. Just feels to me like grandiosity, narcissism. It just does. It feels wrong. And if it doesn't feel wrong to you, do it. It's your life. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to explain anything to anybody. Um, you live your best life to the greatest extent possible. And this also should go without saying, doing no harm intentionally. We're all going to harm each other unintentionally. It's the nature of being human. God forgive us all. But don't be intentionally harmful. Don't. Why? Why? You're fulfilling something. If that's the case, fill it fast and get it over with and let the good people alone. Good people can only take so much. Thought Bruce was still home. He went to church today. Um, in the thing that started this in his truck without having to have anybody come and pick him up or him stop and pick anybody up. He wouldn't pick anybody up anyway. But he doesn't have to stop on his way home. I don't think he might. He said tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day it's all happening. Jason's getting a new to him car. Got all the insurance and all the paperwork all put together. He'll be driving that home, and Bruce will have his truck back. And that makes me happy. And isn't it a blessing? And are we not so thankful that Bruce has enough to be able to share to make our child's life easier or even possible? And I'm sure with 3 drivers in the family, you gotta increase your drivers, which increases your insurance. Insurance in Michigan, car insurance in Michigan is just, come on, man. You shouldn't have to be a boss in order to be able to insure your car. You just shouldn't. It makes no sense. It does make sense. It's punishing people who, um, sometimes through no fault of their own, have got lousy credit reports. Some cases, your credit report is bad because you're a bad risk. If I ask you to loan me money, say no. I will never ask, but if it were to happen, say no. Although I have done so much better with Bruce. Every amount of money that I have borrowed from him, I have paid back, except I think I might still owe him money for groceries. But I gave him $150, the whole Christmas thing, and I gave him that whole $500 that I'd already given him anyway, but he'd never spent. I gave him that for Christmas for the kids, which you only withdrew 100 of. Come on, man! I'm trying to make amends here. So Bruce will have his truck back. He'll be able to go wherever he wants to go. That makes me happy. Bruce likes to go. And it makes me happy because Bruce is gossipy and he likes to talk a lot. And there are times when I have to redirect him in obvious, clumsy ways because he'll say, "You just don't want to talk about this. You don't want to hear my views." You're right. I don't. We don't agree. We won't agree. I don't want to argue. There are lines that I don't cross. There are lines that I don't cross in politics. You taking money away from people who need food, that's a line I don't cross. And I don't give a I don't care if 8 people abuse the assistance. If 8 people abuse the system and only 2 people who really need it get help, I say let those 8 people abuse it so that 2 people, 2 families can eat. Because you can't have even one family not able to eat. You can't. Not in America. People should be able to eat. You talk about it is not a right to eat. It is a necessity. It is as necessary, and this is kind of funny, isn't it? Isn't it interesting that porta potties, places to go to the bathroom, are generally much more available to every human being than food? Some people can't even afford the crappiest, cheapest food that'll make them sick. And here's the irony, I get notices all the time from the state of Michigan to live healthy, to eat well, to make sure I make right choices. Fresh fruits and vegetables, no processed, highly processed food, no high fructose corn syrup. And what are the cheapest things to buy? Those things. I want I want a politician who will go after that even harder than they went after the um, prescriptions. My God, when people started dying because they could not get insulin, they could not afford insulin. What is wrong with people? Do not ask, Denise. You already know. People are going to people. We each have the power as an individual to be a warrior. I'm not talking running around with axes and scalps, bloody. No, no. I'm talking about the pen is mightier than the sword, and if you don't do anything else, talk. Talk about it. Start a conversation about the ability for families to provide food, about things that are important for the greater good, for the greatest good. And I say this all the time, I'm a darn broken record. You do not have to like someone in order to want for them what you want for yourself. And if you're not wanting for them what you want for you because you don't like them, you're doing wrong. You're doing life wrong. And you probably already know that. And if you don't already know that, I rarely do this, but you're stupid. I rarely call anyone stupid. I used to say I never call anybody stupid, but I've also discovered in my latest journey towards the truth that I'm a liar. Born liar, natural born liar. I'm a liar, and it starts with me lying to myself so that I can lie to everybody else. Now, I'm not lying about this. I already lied about this once. I'm the girl who cried wolf. That's fine with me because I have enough. I can't say must. I wonder what it was that I did that allowed me to be taken care of as well as I'm being taken care of here at the end. Was I prescient? I think that's how you pronounce that word. I love that word. Have you noticed I like words? Jason likes words. Your dad likes words. Your dad likes words, but he rarely gets. No. He gets the definitions of them incorrect. Quite often I've stopped um, trying to correct him. I ain't his mommy. I'm not his teacher. Um, I don't have any position of authority over him. My only reason for doing that, for correcting him, is so that other people who actually know what a word means don't laugh at him. I don't want him laughed at. It makes you feel terrible. It makes you feel like he's worthless. He's not a worthless man at all. Not in the slightest is he a worthless man. Not in any way does he have any less importance or value than any other person. And it always hurts when you see someone that you love made fun of. It does. So, Joshua has an excellent vocabulary. Christopher has an excellent vocabulary. Jason has an excellent vocabulary, but he seldom uses it. I think because he loves to read, but he does not hear anyone say some of the words that he understands and can read and know the definition of. He's never heard them pronounced. And, he's almost, oh my gosh. I'm just sitting here thinking, I was thinking, I'm going to be the mother of a 50-year-old. And I thought, well, Yes, I'll be the mother of a 50-year-old and a 60-year-old, and I hope a 70 and 80-year-old. But I won't be around to see it. But I'll be watching you, Jason, as much as is possible. And I always knew that this. I talked about this yesterday. No, the other day. I always knew that whoever was watching, because I said that about I have felt watched from the day I became aware that I was a separate person from my mother. I have felt watched with no one in a room. Anyway, so I've always known they could see you if you picked your nose, if you masturbated, if you stole a cookie, if you. But I don't think it went far as knowing what they thought of that, or if they knew my thoughts. Anyway, lost my point, for which I'm pretty sure we're all grateful for. Not both. I don't know, boys. If I had something like this from my mom, I think it might have helped before she was gone. She's my only mom. She loved me with her entire body and heart and soul. Didn't like me much. It's okay. She loved me and wanted the best for me, which is what I want for you. All three of you, I love you with everything that makes me me. With all of me, I love you. Do I always like you guys all the time? Nope. Do you like me all the time? No. Have you met yourself, Mom? And I understand that. And that's okay. That's what family is. We I always envisioned that I would raise a family, only it was going to be 12 girls. Hello, boys. um, that I would raise them to be good people, And when you guys were little, I did so many things that I knew at the time. If you think about it, just look at the difference between. I don't even know how to say it without. Jason is pure love. Jason is love wrapped in a soft, soft sweater and warm, warm socks and a smiling face. Jason is love and he's service. Jason loves to be of service. He's getting that point now where service isn't quite what it used to be. But Jason shows his love. Jason's love language is service. Service that is rarely valued to the extent that it should be. Jason has learning disabilities caused from a very difficult birth. Could have been so much worse. He could have been like my brother Dennis, who was functional but an asshole. I'm sorry, Dennis. There were times you were an asshole. But I don't think your intentions. I don't know, the way you treated women, that was intense. Hmm. Hey, I was only one girl with five brothers. I couldn't, I couldn't fix everybody. I couldn't fix nobody. More importantly, I wasn't supposed to fix anybody. Water. Kimberly Wadsworth says, hydrate. It purifies the soul. Sometimes I think that's what's the most exciting thing about dying is to reach a state of understanding. I understand so little. I don't even understand. There's no mathematical amount that I can give that would explain how little I know. But 1 zillion times is how much I want to understand things. I want to always be able to understand things. That's why cascading style sheets will always be my nemesis. I can do almost anything in HTML, the language that is what runs the internet. Used to. I don't know. I haven't kept up with that. But it used to be HTML. HTML. But then they added these links so that you could link. And it's such a wonderful idea. And oh my goodness, I wish I'd been able to understand it. Because I had pages and pages of writing, the boring writing, but to me, I could read one of those things that I've written, and I would be immediately there, to the point where you can smell the air and feel the warmth of the sun on your skin. I tried to save it. Don't know if I was successful or not, but I did try to save it. But I think it's on the hard drive on the old computer, the old laptop that Christopher has. And I'm so afraid to ask him for it back and get it back and then do something that messes it up. I should ask Darcy. Because Justin can do that and I could pay them. Because I was notified that Medicaid is going to pay for my premium for my Part B Medicare. Oh, Medicare. Medicare. First strike against it is it involves math. I do math, and I can do hard things. I can do hard math, but it is something that I will put off doing for as long as possible. But I will say once again, I was correct when I figured out by myself how much this raise would be in our Social Security. And once again, Bruce said, no, that's not right. Here's what I'm getting. You're not getting what you're saying. And he said that, I think, the first time. When I very first got put on Social Security, when I turned 62. They had given us a raise. Now I got another raise. And I make, I made enough that I get $1,042 a month. And I don't have to do a single thing to get it except breathe and use common sense. Don't go screwing around. Be a good person. So I bought 2 new touch lamps because I'm not really happy with the 2 touch lamps that I've gotten. And Bruce really wants that one that sits on my bedside table. And the one that sits on the bedside table is except for the fact that I can charge my phone on it. To me, it's useless. You have to actually turn a knob. You can't just touch it to turn it on. And sometimes trying to find that knob in the dark, especially if there's some breathing issue going on, can be quite frightening. So I want just a touch lamp. And the one at the end of my bed, it's either very low that it's useless, pointless, or it's blasting. I need one of the old fashioned touch lamps kinds. And they being whomever they are, who know these things, realize that those are the kind of lamps that people want, so those are priced more expensively. They're trying to sway us to the loft industrial type, whomever they are. I don't know, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I'm just rejoicing in the fact that Bruce will have his truck back. He's at church right now. He's working on himself. And life goes on. Right until it doesn't. So, but I did buy 2 new touch lamps and a new bag to carry stuff in my pot in. I am 65. I live in Michigan. It's legal. I am not working. I am allowed to smoke marijuana. And so I do. I enjoy it. What probably makes me disjointed or seem disjointed. No, I did not use that word on purpose. I don't have much of anything else to say, except that when I'm finished, I will say to myself, why did I not talk about that? I guess until I'll have a reason to talk again. Enjoy.